العليم الحكيم اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك، أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما، واجعل التفرق بعده تفرقا معصوما، ولا تدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to Him, and peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will be recalling part of last time's session just to remind you and to connect, because it's a very, very sensitive topic. Very sensitive. And I have a core idea today. The core idea is how to defend yourself and your faith in a pluralistic society under the big attack by some mainstream media against Islam and Muslims in a very sensitive issue, which has to do with what is so-called Sharia or Sharia law. Because this is part of the context that we will reach to, okay? Now, the big context of us now that Allah is highlighting to us in what I call, in my own words, the competition between the four main competitors in leadership in humanity. We have Jews, Christians, Muslims, and non-believers. The four big players, if I may. This is my own words. This is not Quranic. The number of four and competitors, my own words, just to make it simple for you. I mean, to understand the Quranic terminology in our nowadays, okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us what Jews think about themselves and others. And chapter AlBaqarah tells what Christians think about themselves and others. And what we think about them ourselves and others, and what the non-believers at that time, they are represented by the people of Mecca. They don't believe, which includes in our nowadays terminology, we might be the liberal, secular, atheist, whatever, but which means they do not accept religion to rule them. So I put them under the big category of non-believers, okay? So I will just repeat very quickly the most important titles of this. Let me remind you, chapter AlBaqarah, today is our session number 45, true? So we are in the context of having an idea. Most of those whom we have an idea so far are the Jews. As I told you, as a group out of, big numbers of Muslims in their times under the umbrella of many prophets and messengers. Do you remember? I must keep recalling your minds to the following. We are the final message, final revelation by Allah. We were preceded by 124,000 prophets. We know about them around 28. We believe in them all. However, we know by names for sure 25. We have some kind of dispute around 3. So generally, we know less than 30 by names. How did we know that? Allah told us, وَرُسُلًا لَمْ نَقْصُصْهُمْ عَلَيْكَ. Some messengers, prophets, we did not tell you about. Prophet Muhammad, in a hadith, told us there are more than 120,000 prophets. Messengers about 315. The messenger is the one who comes, who receives a revelation plus a new sharia, a new law, new teachings. Then he will be followed by prophets. Any prophet still following the teachings of a previous messenger is just a prophet, not a messenger. Both of them, they share that they receive revelation from Allah. If there is no amendments, no modification, no new teachings, he's just what? A prophet. So both of them, they share prophethood. Prophethood means they have been chosen by Allah and received revelation. If what came before, prophet. In new addition, messenger. Okay? Just to know why I keep telling 100. This gives you an idea that the number of the big changes as in new teachings, 315. So if I may put it in my own words, from Adam to Muhammad, we have an update system of teachings for more than 300 times. The final updated, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Like I always use the Windows. We used to have Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, okay? Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows Home Edition, Windows Pro X, مش عارف مين professional, Windows whatever. في عندنا latest, something called what? Latest version. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلى. In our understanding, so all prophets and messengers, they share, please, this is very important. They must be fixed, must be drilled in your psyche. All prophets and messengers, including Adam, Noah, Idris, Abraham, Joseph, David, all of them, they came with one religion in terms of faith and values, no changing at all. Allah is one, Allah is one. There is a hereafter, there is a hereafter. Accountability after death, all of them. Ba'ath wa nushur, resurrection and congregation, all of them. They came same message. Respect your parents, all of them. Don't lie, all of them. Don't kill, all of them. Don't transgress, do dhulm, all of them. Changing teachings. Teachings of what to eat, how to worship, how many times, how many days to fast, what to cover from your body, what to use, how to cleanse yourself, what is permissible to do and what to do while doing whatever you are doing. These are called what? Practical teachings. There's ups and downs. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. ولأحل لكم بعض الذي حرم عليكم. Prophet Muhammad, Isa alayhi salam, Allah told us that he came to the people of Israel telling them, part of my duty when I was sent to you as a prophet and messenger to make what has been made not permissible and haram, to make it permissible. لأحل لكم بعض الذي, this is the idea of changing, etc. Okay? You need to know that the final message of prophethood and messengers and books and everything, خلاص, finished completely, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quran. So it's ended up there, okay? Ended up there, Allah in the Quran, which is the final message, which contains the cream of all prophets and messengers before, just in this final book, which is in our language today, 600 pages, 114 chapters, around 93,000 words, around 6,000 plus 300 verses. It's the Constitution. This Constitution was accompanied with something we call it Sunnah. A prophet, his name is Muhammad, was sent. He received this Quran with 6,000 verses, and he was asked to apply, to implement this Quran practically on a span of a time of 23 years. What he has done, acted upon, reacted towards, said, we call it Sunnah. Sunnah means way. His way in applying Islam through the Quran, all together is Islam. Okay? So, why I'm mentioning all of this? Now, in the Quran, part of the knowledge that Allah is giving to us, He's giving us an idea about the two most latest groups who used to be in our places few hundreds of years ago, i.e. Christians and Jews. He's giving us an idea how they, an example, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Like if there is a father with the age, let's say, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, he's in the age of 60. He was given a child. This child was born while he's 60, for example. When his child became 10 years, able to understand, he is 70. Now, this child was preceded with 15 of his brothers. So the father is trying to give a lesson from those before him, what they did, and look what happened to them. Be careful. Don't repeat the same thing. I gave your elder brother 50 years ago such and such, and I asked him to do such and such. Some of them he reacted by this and this. Your brother, for example, whatever, Abbas was so good, he did so and so, do like him. Be careful. However, he was by your, for example, Ali, Kamil, whatever his name, okay, he did so, be careful. It's more or less like this. So in this context, Allah is telling us the most two closest group to us historically, Jews and Christians. From that we know. Now, this is the bigger context. Now in this context, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the following. I will repeat part of what I said last time so that I can make the conclusion. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in chapter AlBaqarah from verses 111 to 113. وقالوا لن يدخل الجنة إلا من كان هودا أو نصارى تلك أمانيهم قل هاتوا برهانكم إن كنتم صادقين بلى من أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن فله أجره عند ربه ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون وقالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء وقالت النصارى ليست اليهود على شيء وهم يتلون الكتاب كذلك قال الذين لا يعلمون مثل قولهم فالله يحكم بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون. Very quickly, I repeat so that I can conclude the most important point from last time. Then I come to our core point today. Now, the Jews and Christians, each of them claim that none will enter paradise except those of their own faith. So Jews believe that no one will get into the paradise except Jewish. Christians believe the same, by the way. And Muslims believe the same. Now I want to fix a possible misconception, especially for the kids. Okay, how can we know who is on the truth? And what shall I reply when someone asks me, am I allowed to express my faith? Yes. What shall I do? Wait and listen. Wait and listen. Because everyone has the same attitude, by the way. It's not just you. All of them. Atheists and non-believers, most of them, they think that we are idiots, stupid people wasting our time with metaphysics. True or false? Now, the believer for the non-believer is what? Stupid. Look, metaphysics. They call it the metaphysics. Things which is behind the physical world. They believe just in science, practical science. You can prove to me in the lab, okay. No, prove it in the lab, forget it. I don't believe in the metaphysics. I don't believe in what behind physics, which includes al-akhirah, al-jinn, malaika, angels, al-akhirah, Allah, rewards, hasanats. Everything is metaphysics, part of the faith. So non-believers, they believe that we are wasting our time. And some of us, we are pure idiots. So this is what they believe. By the way, I don't care. But do you accept me to think that you are an idiot by not preparing yourself for Jahannam? Or this will be a hate speech? Got my point? As long as everyone has the right to adapt whatever faith he would like. Some people believe, by the way, I visited Japan and went to Tokyo. Have you heard about Shintoism? الديانة الشنتوية. Shintoism. Okay, Shintoism, then Buddhism are the two main dominant religions in Japan. Most of the people, they born traditionally and they are Shinto. Do you know in Shintoism, according to the best of my knowledge, what they believe in? They believe in unlimited numbers of gods. Unlimited. Unlimited to a degree that part of the understanding of this religion, I'm talking about Japan now, Traditionally, Japanese people live from the most clever people. And they started inventing the electronics before North Korea, before South Korea, before Singapore, all these countries. Japanese people, they started inventing all kind of huge industrial of this kind of electronics. Clever people, but they believe in unlimited number of gods. When I was there, I was told by the experts in that temple something, it's your right to decide who's your God. That's why they have unlimited. You know what this means? If for whatever reason you decided, for example, the amount of, for example, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, or whatever, is my God, which will be your God. No one has the right to interfere in your business. Or, for example, this tree is my God, it will be my God. That's why, if you notice, every year they have a new God officially. I'm not joking. Go and read. I mean, the idea, the points. Everyone, by the way, no one can force anyone to adopt a faith, because faith is an internal, so it's possible. So the idea from one angle, don't start shaking when someone asks you, and what thing you believe, you Muslim? Do you dare to highlight what yes, I dare. طبعا, I'm very proud even to tell you, because I want you to go to the Jannah. Yes. Actually, it's me who should dare to announce, because I am the one who will benefit nothing physically from you. I'm just calling you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'm saying this to you because I witness a lot of people, they face what we call the inferiority complex. عقدة النقص. They keep, no, shut up your mouth, don't speak. Ya Ammi, please understand the context very well. Everyone is believing in something different. And all of them, they are proud of what they faith. Why you should feel, inferior? No. But understand basically what happens on ground. So now I will read in English. They say, sorry, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Quiet. Jews and Christians, each of them claim that none will enter paradise except those of their own faith. These are their desires. Reply, O Prophet, show me you proof if what you say is true. Now, but no, Allah continues, Bala, but no, whoever, now our law says, the one who will enter what I believe in, regardless others what they believe. قال بلى من أسلم وجهه لله وهو محسن. Our criteria, as we believe, and we are proud of this, the one who will get into paradise, قال but no, whoever submits themselves to Allah. Our understanding to submission, the literal translation of submission is what in Arabic? Islam. Submission means istislam or taslim or Islam. By the way, that's why when we translate the meaning of Islam is to submit yourself to the will of your Lord. But no, whoever submits themselves to Allah and does good. Focus now. Submits, which means you go to his criteria, then you do good as he decided, not as you wish. Because what you might think is good, not necessarily is good in Allah's. Because you think, for example, drugs is good from your point of view, because you are selling and buying drugs. You are not using drugs, but you feel it's good because basically you became a multimillionaire from good. It's not your criteria, it's Allah's criteria. Got my points? Fawahish, anything that harms by the fitrah. قال, but no, whoever submits themselves to Allah and does good will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear for them, nor will they grieve. Now Allah continues. The Jews say the Christians have nothing to stand on, and the Christians say the Jews have nothing to stand on, although both recite the scriptures. And those pagans, now in the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the non-believers of Mecca, who have no knowledge, say the same. By the way, which means each group claims that they are on right and the opponent has nothing to stand on. Get my point? Which means the attitude of everyone. Number one, don't feel shy to claim what you believe in, because everyone else is claiming the same, by the way. It's not just you. It's not just you who believe that I believe that I'm doing the right thing. Everyone else as well. Secular people, they believe they are doing the best, and everyone else, they are wasting their time in idiots, metaphysical religions. They believe against us. So what's the problem if you think I believe in the right? Now I will discuss with you how can I make sure that I'm on the right. This is another question. Phase number one, if you believe, if you have what we call اعتقاد. By the way, the word اعتقاد من العقدة. شو هي عقدة الحبل لما نربطها بالإنجليزي؟ Not N-O-T K-N-O-T-E. Just K-N-O-T, not. The K is silent. Okay, not knot. زي بدي اقرا to sign to sign. Okay. طيب. So the word اعتقاد in Arabic from the word عقدة, which is the knot. What distinguishes the knot from everything else, that it's very tight and solid, not easily you can release it. So when you have اعتقاد, means this thing that you have اعتقاد in should be here like a knot, not easily left, which means you are certain that it's there. This is when you acquire اعتقاد, تعتقد, this is the literal original meaning. Metaphorically, you have to be certain. Not to say, okay, are you a believer? Like, by the way, I will tell you a joke. It's not my joke. I did not invent the joke, but I used to hear it in the UK 25 years ago. As a student. A lot of people around me, they used to say, it's easily a media man could walk in the streets of London, for example, and you can stop randomly a British guy, telling him, excuse me, sir, are you a Christian? Yes. Do you go to the church? Yes. Do you believe in God? No. I repeat. Are you a Christian? Yes. Do you go to the church? Yes. Do you believe in God? No. This is a joke. This is a British joke. I used to hear it. Do you know what is this? Okay, it's a joke, but it's built on a very, very sympathetic reality, which means many Christians in the UK,
practice it without believing.
they don't believe, but traditionally they were born Christians, but they don't care with the faith. Got my point? You believe, but because the core, now in our understanding, maybe some people they say, hey, excuse me, you have no right to call them, they don't have whatever. No. This is acceptable in their culture. On my head, on my head, على راسي. Let everyone be happy with his culture, ya ammi. Listen to me how in my culture I think and I believe. In my Islamic culture, if you don't have certainty in what you believe, you are an unbeliever. Even your name is Muhammad and you were born in a Muslim society. I don't care with others, with their jokes, with the reality. If you want to know about me in Islam, if you don't acquire this kind, if you don't adapt this powerful acceptance as if it's inside your heart, like the two pieces of knot, like this, you are an unbeliever. Okay? So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Jews say Christians have nothing to stand. Christians say Jews have nothing to stand, although both recite the scripture. And those pagans who have no knowledge say the same about people of faith. The non-believers, they say about Jews, Christians, and Muslims. So 1400 years ago, the same debates. Now, surely, look to the beauty now, the beauty of Islam. Allah says, surely Allah will judge between them on the day of judgment regarding their disputes. Because some people, they say, who will solve this problem in the day of judgment? But what about me? Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Is it a valid question? Is it a valid question? Yes, it is. But how can I know? شوف. By the way, I can answer this question in more than one way. Let me give you my way. Number one, If you can't justify to yourself that something is better, do it. Defend yourself in the day of judgment when you stand before your Lord. Go. I repeat. If you can't find a better way, if you think, by the way, when I tell you if you can find, you are not making jokes, and you can't make jokes with Allah. I can lie at you. You can lie at me. I can mislead you. I can bring false evidence to you. You can do it to me. You, me, you, yes. You, Allah, me, Allah. No. Excuse me, sir. What? Excuse me. You cannot do this with Allah. So therefore, how can I know? I'm challenging you. Ask yourself, by the way, Allah gave us a criteria, and I will give it to you. Please use it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, use this criteria. Please use it for everyday life. When someone tells you, right, wrong, wait. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, in the context of those people like Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab, who used to claim that Muhammad is a liar, and Muhammad is not a prophet, and he's not bringing the truth, and his system and his law and his sharia is something just a waste of time, and. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is challenging them, in addition to the ayah that I always repeat to you. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُم. Look to the criteria, one of the criteria. They denied superficially. They rejected superficially. ظاهرا جحدوا. No. He's a liar. No. He's okay. قال وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُم. Inside themselves, they reach the level of certainty that this is the truth. What's the reason? ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. They will do it on the base of transgression, اعتداء, ظلم, okay, and arrogance, علو. So they will argue, they don't want. This is like when you say, excuse me, why did you break this? I did not. I saw you break it. I did not. Shut up your mouth or I will show you. Okay, sorry. You are using your power against me. You are the one who broke this thing and I saw you. No, I'm not. If you dare to say it, I will do such and such. What's this? This is arrogance. This is what? I know the truth. But because now I have the power, I denied, I rejected, I claimed, I lied. And if I have extra power, I can accuse the one who saw me that he is the one who did it. And many people, they do it in this world. And at the day of judgment, here is the importance of believing in Allah Al-Alim, who knows everything. Allah Al-Khabir, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Al-Basir, he sees everything. Allah Al-Qadir, capable of everything. Allah Al-Qawi, the all-powerful, and Allah Al-Hayy, who will not die, and Allah Al-Muhyi, who will bring us to life again for accountability. So I can make these dirty games with you. You can make it with me, but with Allah, no. So this is number one. Let's come to the evidence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ أَن تَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ مَثْنَى وَفُرَادًا ثُمَّ تَتَفَكَّرُوا مَا بِصَاحِبِكُم مِّن جِنَّةٍ. Most of us, we read this ayah, by the way. Many of us, when I realized by one of my professors who was teaching me the master's degree in Tafsir about 25 years ago, wallahi, when I realized the meaning of this ayah, my mind was about to explode, you know, from the level of happiness when I discovered such a thing. This ayah talks about a very deep psychological reality of the human psychology. Allah is challenging them. He said, I'm preaching you, I'm challenging you, I'm asking you to do one of the following. Go in couples, 2 or individuals, no more than 2. Look, إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ. If you want to know the truth, when you think about this man, Muhammad, just stay alone and think, or just 2, no more than 2. More than that, don't do it. Then have a deep thinking. Are you really on the base that you believe he is a crazy? Which means sit with yourself and think. Crazy? But I myself used to call him for 40 years as Sadiq al-Amin. I myself, as Abu Lahab, as Abu Jahl, for me he was what? As-Sadiq al-Amin, the honest, trustworthy, 40 years. But why I did call him as-Sadiq al-Amin? Because he was saying the truth. Because he was the most trustworthy person in Mecca. To a degree, most of the people of Mecca, they were not calling him Muhammad. They were calling him as-Sadiq al-Amin. Not using his proper name, his new description or title, his nickname, as-Sadiq al-Amin. But when you saw, for example, when you keep saying that this the one who does not lie, not even once in his life, out of a sudden he came with the news telling you it's happened to me. No, you are a liar. Liar. قال أعظكم بواحدة. Sit alone and think, or you and just with your friend. You know what does this mean? In what is so called in the area of psychology, there is a branch called the mass psychology, علم النفس الجماهيري. Mass psychology, which means you as an individual, when you are alone, you have a process of thinking in a direction. When you are in a group, your way of thinking will differ. The peer pressure, the influence will lead you not necessarily to highlight your convictions because you feel afraid. This is called in our language now, in the schools, the peer pressure. Now, maybe you know that, for example, drinking alcohol is bad and haram. Maybe you know saying bad words against girls in the class is bad. But when you sit with the shilla, you know the shilla? With your close group of gangsters, all of them, hey, you, like for example, in our Arabic culture, how many young men they started smoking? By the way, he hates the smell. He does not accept it. No one smokes. And he knows that there is a strong opinion that it's haram. Yet, when he sits with a group of 15 young friends in the streets, all of them, ايش يا خذ لك هالدخل ما بدخل ايش حبيبي خايف من الماما ايش يا تشيكن ايش يا ارنب كا 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 they start doing this for you هيك مش زلمه ما طلعوا الشوارب حبيبي نشربك قهوه نطلع لك شوارب اخس يا الزلم جيبوا له اللهايه بسرعه جيب له بامبرز حبيبي يلا جيبوا له لسه ما كبر يلا هات افرجيك start smoking immediately. What is this? Is this his convention? Is he convinced? Peer pressure. This is psychology, by the way. This is called mass psychology. Are you with me? So, by the way, I read about experiment. It's an amazing one. And they did it in one of the universities in the West. I forgot now because I read it many years ago. Look to the experiment. Then I will come back to remind me. قل إنما أعظكم بواحدة. Then we'll come back to our point. What was the experiment? They arranged with a clinic, private clinic with a doctor. All of the people waiting in the waiting room, they are actors. None of them is a genuine patient, except the victim. The one who's a real patient. He will come, he will find 10 sitting, reading magazines and newspapers, but all of them, they are what? Actors. All the cameras, inside the room, and they arranged with the doctor. It's a genuine doctor, real doctor, and some of his real patients, they are coming by appointment. Everyone else is arranged by actors and a social experiment, psychological social experiment. Basically, they do the following. For example, I am the new victim who knows nothing about the reality. I come and sit while I'm reading. Now, deliberately, they leave part of the door open. Now, supposedly, the doctor inside is with a patient. Now, out of a sudden, all of them, they will hear a woman crying, shouting, something dangerous happened, as if the doctor is attacking her, or raping her, or sexual harassment. She's crying badly, she's dying. Now, everyone is acting now. Look what happens. They did it tens of times. I'm the victim. Once I hear, men especially, when they hear a woman crying, they don't think. Just they go and act. Immediately. Not even, a partial of a second. Look what used to happen. I'm reading a magazine. A woman is crying behind the door, shouting. Then I look to everyone else. None of them even lift his magazine. They don't care. They keep reading. I return back and I read. She's still screaming. And I don't move because none of them moved. Naturally, compared with a group around me. So they did it many times, none of them moved. Then they did it the other way around. The true victim, they did it for example, 30, 40, 50 times, 30, 40 from this side. Now, the new scenario. In the new scenario, the victim comes, he has no idea. All of them, they are actors, pretending as if reading a magazine. A woman is screaming. Once she's screaming, I'm about to move. One of the actors, he throws the magazine and try to act as if he is running to the door to save the woman. I am the victim immediately. I will leave everything. I will even leave him. I will attack inside to save the woman immediately without even thinking. So they discovered that the following. By the way, this is used in many Arab countries by security forces. Do you know in what? When a peaceful demonstration of a group of people peacefully, they don't want to damage anything in the street walking. They send just 2 security men between them. They start damaging all of them. They start breaking everything in the streets. The mass. Now, when you sit with a group of people, for example, if you hold an idea that, for example, liberals are good or bad, conservatives good or bad, when you sit in a room, 99% of them, they hold the other point of what you have. At least you will keep shutting your mouth. You will not speak because everyone else is against. And if you discovered before even uttering a word, all of them, they start saying, the one who holds that bad idea, he is a terrorist, he's a hate speaker, something, and you hold this idea, you will shut up your mouth and you will act as if you believe in something else. Does this happen or not? Look to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ بِوَاحِدًا. I'm preaching you just in one of 2. Don't go to masses. Don't speak about Muhammad. Don't sit in your club and ask 100 people, hey, by Allah, don't you think that Muhammad is saying the truth? Which is part of what you believe, because he's Sadiq al-Amin. Abu Lahab will come, he's saying, shut up your mouth. You are destroying our society. And Abu Jahl will come to you and say, hey, has anyone paid to you any bribe to do this? I will show you, I will take you to the court. You will say, no, I'm sorry. I think I'm drunk, maybe I asked the wrong question. You will stop asking the question. This happens now in the media. True or false? While when you sit just with the closest friend to you alone, just 2 of you, start chatting, sometimes you will uncover a lot of your real convictions without feeling embarrassed. And he will say, well, I disagree with you, but that's true. But please don't tell anyone. Or by yourself. Just sit alone and think, hey, I am the one who was always proud of As-Sadiq al-Amin. How come I'm saying that he is the liar? You know this methodology? Now I'm challenging you, anyone who's listening to me. If one say, how can I know that Islam is truth? If you think a religion that asks you not to drink alcohol so that not to lose the most important device in your existence, which is the power of intellect, the reasoning, al-aql, is bad, leave it. If you think the religion who asks you not to have drugs so that not to kill others, leave it. If you think the religion which asks you to respect your parents and by their happiness and dua for you, you will go to the Jannah. If this is wrong, go and find something else. Go, if you can find it. I'm challenging you. And go on. If you think a religion that believes in unlimited gods, to a degree you don't know whom to worship, go, leave it. Are you with me? So I'm asking you, it's not just a philosophy. It's not just a feelings. No, convictions. And you have a lot of ways. So who's the truth? Ask your fitra, ask your inner nature, and compare, by the way. And by the way, what if someone did not believe? Who told you that you are forced to let everyone believes? You are asked just to keep telling what you believe in. This is your duty. But what about others? It's not my duty. My duty to keep highlighting, to keep reminding, to keep explaining. Next step is not under my control, but you yourself, please, don't accept inferiority complex, عقدة النقص, to influence you. Be proud, be ready, and discuss. This is number one. Top number two, let me go to the other one. طيب, Muslims, and please focus on this. I mean, the following possible misconception might help you to solve tens of questions in the future when you are in the area of interfaith dialogue. We all know that the most powerful ruling system on earth is the secular one, because most of the countries on earth, they are what? Secular, which means they don't use religion to rule, even though when you read, you will find 36 countries on earth in their constitution, Christianity is the religion of the state. Many of them in South America. Okay? But this is not my point. My point, if someone asks you the following question, battery. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yes. Yes. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. By the way, what I will be highlighting now could be theoretical now, but at any moment, but even if it's theoretical, many Muslims will be asked these questions, and when you are asked this question, you might feel shy to answer it or feel afraid to answer it. What's the question? Hey, what if you Muslims at a certain time, at a certain place on earth, you have the power? Are you gonna use Sharia law to rule? You with me? Because, you know, the mainstream media, they used for about past 20 years, Sharia law, the term, Sharia law means Islamic teachings. In a simple way, Islamic teachings in everything. It's used in a very negative sense when you say Sharia law, and in the mind of many non-Muslims, Sharia law means chopping hands, cutting heads, lashing backs. This is the only thing in Sharia. Wallahi. When you say, oh, Sharia law, you want to... Hey, you want to... No, I will not. Don't worry. I will not. Because this, you know, so misunderstanding, people say, wait. First of all, let's fix the first misconception. Number one, Sharia law means Islamic teachings. Like you have secular teachings, conservative teachings, liberal teachings, Jewish teachings, Christian teachings, Buddhist teachings. We have our own teachings. But you know, it's a big danger if you rule a country. Discuss with me academically now, scientifically. Islamic teachings, if we have a country that is planning to rule by Sharia, will be the law of the land of this country. The law. Forget the word Sharia law. It will be what? The law of that country. Now, the big question. Is it true that all people of earth, apart from Muslims, they have one law? Or each country has its own laws? يعني, French laws, they are identical with American laws or different? Type. Practically, is it true that every French accepts everything in the American law? Type. If a French goes to America, he must do what? I repeat, must do what? Obey the American law. Is this discrimination or part of the natural human acceptance on earth. If an American goes to Canada, he's asked to do what? To obey the Canadian law. For example, in America, some states, you have the right to hold a weapon without being concealed. You know this in America. In Canada, it's completely prohibited. Can an American hold a weapon now in public and walks in the streets of Ontario? By law, he will go to prison. But who's discriminating who now? Who cares? You are in Canada, you have no right to do it. Close the file. Period. Full stop. Is this a reality or not every place on earth? I'm asking, is this a reality or not? In Australia and in Canada, when you come, one of the things that you will be searched deeply for if you are holding any types of seeds for any kind of planets, any kind, because they want to I don't blame them, especially in Australia. In Australia, it's more important than religion. If you might bring any kind of viruses or problems or germs through, they want to protect their agriculture in Australia. Do you know why? Because, Australia is in the south of the Earth planet. When most of the north, which is our areas, they are winter, they will be in what? Summer. When we are in summer, they are in winter. So when we are in the winter, can you imagine all of Europe and North America freezing? It will be summer in Australia, which means they can sell the summer fruits by billions and trillions. Billions, not millions, billions. Billions all the summer. They might be in need to 90% of the fruits and vegetables from Australia. So therefore they want to protect their agricultural industry. So you will face hell. You will face hell more than a terrorist if they discovered that you are holding something might affect what? Their agricultural industry, including, Arabs. Most of us, we are addicts على البزر. تعرفوا البزر؟ بزر البطيخ؟ بزر الأسود والأبيض؟ شو بيسموه البزر by the way؟ melon seeds? Melon seeds will, yes. For example, for us melon seeds could take you to jail. تخيل كيس عمي. Oh, a disaster. But this is my culture. Who cares with your culture? It's not allowed in Australia. But it's my culture. Who cares? It's not allowed. Period. طيب, where's my right? This is the law of Australia. Is this discrimination? Are you with me? I'm just giving you examples. So if you have an Islamic country who wants to apply Islamic law, it's exactly like any law. Who can claim that his law is acceptable by everyone else? Apart from religion, forget the religion now. Apart from religion. By the way, to the best of my knowledge, I read many years ago, I read that in France, I'm not sure if this is in all France or just in Paris, you are not allowed to put any kind of signs in English language. It must be in French. You have no right to use it as a signs, public signs in English. They want to protect their language. Okay, it's their right. They did it. But what if I, as a Muslim, decided to take a decision that my law in my country, you are not allowed to use French and English, but Arabic? It will be what?
Discrimination.
An act of discrimination. طب يا عمي جننتونا. This is called double standard and hypocrisy. But I want you, I'm paying your attention to the idea. Everyone believes, yes. But what shall I do? Don't do anything. Keep being proud of what you have. Protect what you believe in. Keep talking about what you believe in. Try to save any souls who might be convinced in what you have. And if someone is asking you, tell him about the truth, and that's it. In the day of judgment, you will stand before. If you find something better, leave Islam. Wallahi, I'm not joking. If you can't prove to yourself alone, sitting alone, when you sit alone, you can't make jokes with Allah. Because if you think that, for example, full liberal freedom is better than Islam, you have to ask yourself the following question. Do you feel happy when your daughter or your sister or your wife goes and sleeps with anyone in the street and this is part of the normal life, or you feel bad or sad? If you feel bad or sad, you are lying and you are what? Contradicting yourself. Your claim is something has that to do with your own conviction. If you feel it's okay, no problem for your father to come drunk and he start urinating on himself and start hitting badly your mother as something normal, and it's not bad and it's not rude and it's not evil, and the only religion on earth which prohibits this is Islam, if you can prove to yourself that this is acceptable, leave Islam يا عمي. No one will kill himself if you يعني انت بعرفش كيف اترجمها، بس يعني تحملناش جميله حبيبي. والله I'm not joking. كيف تترجمها تحملناش جميله؟ Who can translate تحملناش جميله؟ ولا حدا قال يترجمها؟ تحملناش جميله. لا seriously كان انا I want to translate in English because this is a very deep. تحملش الله جميله. وبالخليلي كيف نحكيها؟ تحملش الله جميله يا خالي. والله I'm not joking. ممكن حد يترجم؟ ساعدوني اترجم الاخوه الباكستانيه. مش معقول في عندي حوالي 70 واحد قدامي يا جماعه. Please help. لا تحمل الله جميله. بدي اشوف على الفيسبوك اذا حدا بيساعدني بالترجمه يا جماعه. فيش. طب انا I will do my best. Okay. بس if I failed you know, in Arabic لا تحمل الله جميله. Don't think at any time that by stay in Islam that you are an added value or you are making a favor for Allah to say, hey, Allah, the fact that I'm staying a Muslim is a big added value for Islam. Is that true or not? This is the meaning of تحملش الله جميله. Hey, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need you and me. We need Allah and we need Islam. If you are not convinced with Islam after doing all of these, you know, processes, leave it. ما في ترجمة على فكرة. ما في. It's a deep contextual. I mean, you can't. Anyway, the idea. I mean, we need Allah, we need Islam. Islam does not need us, Allah does not need us. Okay? So be sure from this. Okay? So this is the most important core point, and please fix in your mind. If you want to apply Islam, it's exactly like any other law. That's why we have family law, cultural law, community law, society law, state law. That's the same thing. So don't feel shy. When it contradicts, do your best. If that does not suit you, leave it. Simply. Because everyone does this. And by the way, don't think, but this is, you have to be inclusive. But why the French do not accept Americans to do to keep acting as Americans in France to be inclusive? No, they say, hey, we need to protect our culture. We need to protect our law. This is, everyone does it. So Muslims, they have the right to do the same thing. Where is the problem? By the way, I'm not discussing with others now. I'm discussing with you. Because some of you all the time listening to the mainstream media, okay? In Islamic law, Islamic teaching, Islam, yes, like anywhere else. You believe in such? Yes, you believe. But we have something we should be proud of. What is it? And let me finish by this. And I claim that no one else has it. I claim. Yes, جزاكم الله خيرا. What is it? لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي. No compulsion in religion. When we say religion here, we are talking about faith. No one in Islam has the right to force anyone to accept a faith. It's prohibited, by the way. You have no right to do it. But don't mix this with the practical law, like anyone else. By law, we are not allowed as Muslims to allow or to open prostitution houses. You have no right to come to act upon this in Islamic country. It's prohibited by law. Like, for example, here you have a lot of prohibited things. By law, you are not allowed to do it. True or false? For example, am I allowed to use my money freely in Canada without telling the tax agency about the sources of my fund? From one angle, is it my money or not? It's my money. Is it me who earned this money or not? Do I have the right of full freedom to do whatever in this money? No. But why? The law says you must declare and let the tax agency be aware. This is the law. You have to respect the law. But what if I have a feeling against this? Who cares? Seriously, who cares? Obey the law and that's it. Is this the reality or not? And you can apply it on tens and hundreds and thousands of anything else. The same thing. You as a Muslim, you believe. In your faith, part of your faith, you have teachings, law. Do your best to apply the law. Don't feel shy. If someone asks you, what if, Hamimi, what if the same thing happens everywhere? Yeah, what's the problem? But I'm proud that I have no right to force anyone on faith. But if it became a law, like any other laws, we are like others. What is the problem and where is the problem? Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Is it clear? Type. I will leave just about 5 minutes. Oh, so sorry. I wrote here one of the examples now, just to make it, to fix it inside yourselves. I want to drill it in your psyche. The example of the coronavirus. Is it true that some thousands or millions of people in Europe and in North America, they were not convinced that the vaccination is necessary or not? I'm asking you, in reality, do we have millions of people who did not accept the idea and they were attacking the whole idea and they believed in the conspiracy theory? In practice, did they believe that the vaccination is the only solution? Or we have millions who are against this? Millions, type. Practically, those who have the authority, i.e. the governments, Americans, Canadians, British, anyone. I'm talking about Western, because Western people, they are the highest level of who claim that they have democratic states. So let's use the best example. Type. In the best democratic states, part of what they believe in is liberty, حرية, freedom. What if I don't believe that the vaccination? Who cares what you believe, Habibi? If you don't have the proof of vaccination, you will not go to Tim Hortons. You will not go to restaurants. But where's my freedom? Go and sleep at your home. I want to travel to see my mother back home. In the airport, you are not allowed. In the airplanes, you are not allowed. How many people they were not convinced to wear masks? They don't believe in necessity of masks. How many? Millions! But they were what? Forced. Is this against freedom or not? But it is what? The law. Just use this example. If someone asks you, what if the Muslims? The same thing. What if we have millions who don't believe it? At the end, the law became a law, and you are against the law if you do not abide the law. You give me an answer. Forget Islam now. Forget religions. This is a secular society. And supposedly we believe in freedom, full liberty. I don't want you to wear the masks. You are not allowed to do. You are not allowed. Which means you are completely isolated. You will be in the corner doing nothing. So indirectly, they will destroy your life. So indirectly, you are what? Forced. But this is a liberal society. Are you with me? By the way, I myself, I took the vaccination and I accepted the idea. I'm talking, we have millions who don't believe in that. Okay, what to do with them? You will end up doing nothing. You will end up what? Doing nothing. Like that, the boxer, the Romanian boxer. If you saw it, it went viral. Short video with a Romanian boxer. He's an Orthodox Christian. He was asked in this short video, was talking about that the best religion from his point, if he decided to change his religion. He said, I'm a proud Orthodox Christian and I donated $20,000 a month for the Romanian church. This is what he said in the video. I don't know his name. He said, but if I decided to change my religion to any religion, it will not be but Islam. He was saying this. Because in Islam, he gave an example. It's his point of view. He said in Islam, they have restrictions, something they don't tolerate. He gave an example. He said, if I was in London and I decided to wear a shirt, on the shirt I was insulting Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. I said a very bad word against him. I'm sure that I will end the street completely and no one will speak with me. He said, if I dare to write something about Muhammad, I will not end the streets. Rahimahullah. He said, they will not tolerate insulting their prophets. Then he said something. He said, if you want to tolerate everything, you will stand for nothing. This is the important one. If you tolerate everything, you will stand for what? Nothing, and you will be nothing. Because no one can tolerate everything. If Canadians want to tolerate anyone who holds machine guns with them, thousands of crimes will happen in the street and people will be killed. If they want to tolerate, for example, not to pay the tax, you can't have child benefits, you can't have medical aid, you can't have it, everything will be destroyed. The state will lose its power. Khalas, everything is finished. So think in this way. When you speak about religion as a system of life, and don't keep thinking Islam is just a mere spiritual supplications and prayers next to the masjid. No. This is a simple part of Islam. Clear? Any question about my topic? طيب, جزاكم الله خير. Next time we will start a completely new phase. Now Allah started talking about وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا. But when you want to speak about dhulm, you can't avoid talking about the Arab world. Because, yes, dhulm now is like a synonym, muradif, for the Arab world. Next time, if we stay alive, inshallah, we will talk about what is the concept, the Quranic terminology, what Allah is promising for the one who stops, who destroys, who prevents the masajid from delivering its speech and its message. Next time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
No live streaming next week. No live streaming next week.
Next time?